All right, Tim, I'll stop asking you this one. When playing games, you stick with the default key/button bindings, or do you customize them? And the commenter says, I personally stick with the defaults as they tend to work just fine.
Yeah, I almost always stick with the default settings. There are obviously some game exceptions where they've done just idiotic key bindings. And like if there's games where they've not used standard bindings, like a game where they've mapped, say, run not to the shift button, which it is in basically every single game.
It's like R for run instead of reload.
Yeah, so and if reload's a different button, then I might change those to sort of the more natural thing, and then think in my head, what on earth were these developers thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Have they ever played a PC game before? But that's really what it takes for me to change the settings. Otherwise, I just go full default.
Yeah, I usually start with the default, and then I generally tweak it ever so slightly, just to a few things that suit my play style. So that's it. Usually just some minor changes there. But I guess, as Tim says, it sort of depends on the game. Some games are really good and some are just a complete mess. But I think by and large, they make sense.
I think that earlier in sort of PC gaming, maybe a decade ago, there were games where you couldn't even change the key bindings at all. Like it just wasn't a feature because that's how little effort developers were putting in.
A lot of ports back then.
A lot of ports. Whereas I think these days, developers, are seeing PC as a much more legitimate platform that's actually making them money. They're putting the time and effort in so that they're using key bindings that make sense. So it's very rare, I think, these days where you need to make bulk changes. It tends to work pretty well out of the box. So yeah.